In this video, we'll talk about how to convert between degrees and radians. So here are the two rules that you need to remember. If you're converting from degrees to radians, you simply multiply by pi over 180. If you're converting from radians to degrees, you do the opposite. You multiply by 180 over pi. So let's work through a few examples. Let's say we have 60 degrees, and we want to convert this to radians. So to go from degrees to radians, we just multiply by pi over 180. So it helps if we write the 60 over 1 like this. So we can say 60 degrees over 1 times pi over 180. We'll write a degree symbol. So when we multiply, we can multiply straight across and we'll get 60 pi over 180. So this is our answer. We just need to simplify if we can. So how many 60s will go into 180? Well, that would be 3. 60 times 3 is 180. So what we can do is we can reduce this and say this is a 1, and this becomes a 3. So our final answer will be pi over 3. That is what 60 degrees is in terms of radians. Let's try another one. Let's say we have 150 degrees and we want to convert this to radians. So to go from degrees to radians, once again, we multiply by pi over 180. So let's write 150 over 1 times pi over 180. So we'll multiply straight across and we'll get 150 pi over 180. So this is our final answer. We just have to reduce if we can. So it turns out that we can divide 150 and 180, both of those by 30. So 150 divided by 30 is 5. So we'll get 5 pi in the numerator. 180 divided by 30. How many 30s go into 180? That would be 6. So our final answer is 5 pi over 6. This is what 150 degrees is in terms of radians. Let's try another one. Let's say we have 72 degrees and we want to convert this to radians. So to go from degrees to radians, we multiply by pi over 180. So let's do that. 72, we'll write it over 1 and we'll say times pi over 180. So we'll multiply straight across. We get in the numerator 72 pi. And in the denominator, 1 times 180 is 180. So now we just need to see, can we reduce this at all? Well, it looks like a 9 would go into both of these. So if we say 72 divided by 9, that would be 8. 180 divided by 9, that's 20. So we have 8 and 20. It looks like we can further simplify. So 8 divided by 4, that's 2. 20 divided by 4 is 5. And it looks like that will be our final answer. So up top we have 2 pi. And in the denominator we just have a 5. So 2 pi over 5. That's what 72 degrees is in terms of radians. Let's try another one. Let's say we have pi over 6 and we want to convert this to degrees. So to go from radians to degrees, we multiply by 180 over pi. So let's do that. So we'll multiply by 180 over pi. And notice that when we do this, we have a pi in the numerator here and a pi in the denominator here. So these two will just cancel out. And we'll be left with 180 over 6. So 180 divided by 6, that's 30. So 30 degrees. So pi over 6 is equal to 30 degrees. Let's try another one. Let's say we have pi over 10. How can we convert this radians to degrees? Well, we multiply by 180 over pi. So let's do that. Times 180 over pi. Once again, this pi in the numerator and this pi in the denominator will just cancel out. So we'll be left with 180 divided by 10. So 180 divided by 10, these zeros will go away and we'll just be left with 18 over 1, or 18 degrees. So pi over 10 in terms of degrees is 18 degrees. All right, let's try one last one. We have 5 pi over 36. How can we convert this radians to degrees? Well, we need to multiply by 180 over pi. So we can say times 180 over pi. So the pi in the numerator and the pi in the denominator will simply cancel out, and we'll be able to multiply straight across. Before we multiply though, let's see if we can reduce. So we have a 36 down here in the denominator and a 180 up here in the numerator. So each of these are divisible by 18. So 18 goes into 36 2 times, so we can write a 2 right here. And 18 goes into 180 10 times. So we can write a 10 up here. So if we multiply straight across, we'll have 5 times 10 is 50. And 2 times 1 is just 2. So 50 divided by 2 is 25. So 25 degrees. So 5 pi over 36 in terms of degrees is 25 degrees.